Hey, coach, you guys are one of two teams in the ACC that has three road wins in league play. Two-part question is one, what does it say about this team to be able to do that? And what have you learned, through those three road wins about this new squad?
Each game you kind of learn a little bit more, and they've been, without, they all of them been a little bit dramatic, to be honest with you. We've done it in different ways. At Notre Dame, we didn't play well at all, and just kind of found a way to win the game, and just hung in there, and then we, pulled it out at the end. The Louisville game, you look back at that one, we kind of had control of the game for the most of the games, and then obviously a couple things down the stretch, but it says a lot about those our guys and their focus on the road. Road wins are so hard in college basketball, and have the three of them. I tell our guys that those are golden, and I just think that with a group that's got played a lot of college basketball, older in age, I think that's helped us out be able to focus a little bit more.
We'll go next to Mark Berman. Go ahead, Mark.
Good morning, Kevin.
Mark?
You've What's kind of emerges the identity of this year's team that you've been able to hang your hat on most nights?
Well, I think we're defending. We're not turning guys over as much as we normally do, but from a half court standpoint, I think we're really defending. We got multiple pieces that we can play. We're playing around nine guys that can obviously come in the game and affect the game in a different way. We're shaping up similar to last year's team. DJ Burns is starting to get a groove, in January, and that's really good for us. But I think our guards are starting to play. Example, I think DJ Horn is playing at a high level right now, which has kind of helped our team. And, I just think we got different pieces that we can throw at you. And most of those pieces, and though they may not score, they're doing it on the defensive end.
The teams you've lost to are all really good teams, but is there something common denominator? Is it just that they're really good teams, or when you've lost those games, is it because of something that's kind of cropping up?
Well, you would love to win them. I just think they're really good teams. I haven't seen the AP today, but I'm sure that all of those guys are in the top 25, and a couple few of them may be in the top 10. And obviously we got to try to win a couple of those to be able to be where we're at. But it just shows the type of teams that we're playing, and the three in the losses that we had in the non-conference have really prepared us for conference play, which I think is really great for us.
Thank you.
Thanks, Mark.
Corey Smith, go ahead.
Kevin, wanted to ask you about the turnovers that have been kind of rearing their ugly head here recently. I know you talked about it a little bit after Saturday's game. Takeo Siddle has now passed you at number one in the country in terms of offensive turnover rate at 11%. You guys are at 11.3. Just your thoughts on what the issues have been there in terms of turning over the basketball and what can be done to help fix that moving forward.
Well, I just think we've had a couple games where we just didn't value the basketball. When you look at our body of work, it's crazy, Corey, because it's been so good. And it's been like, we've had games, man, where we've turned the ball over four times, and I think we're all spoiled, including myself. I'm like, man, what in the world, four turnovers? And so when you have a couple games where you really turn the ball over, I think everybody looks at you like, what's going on? And I think it's a small sample size of what's going on right now, but we'll get back to taking care of the basketball.
How important will that be against a Wake Forest team that is so good offensively coming up on Tuesday night?
Yeah, I think it's huge. I mean, we have to win the turnover battle. That's no matter if you're playing Wake Forest or anyone, and the one thing you don't want to do is turn the ball over and have live ball turnovers where you're giving guys easy baskets at the other end. It's been really, like I said, it's almost to the point where when we turn it over, I'm a little shocked because we've been so good at it, early in the year. But we got to get back to taking care of the basketball.
Thanks, Kevin.
We'll go back to Noah Fleischman.
You mentioned DJ Horn. He shot the ball really well in December, and then the first, few games of this month, the ball wasn't going down. But then at Louisville, 27.6 threes. What kind of change do you think at Louisville for him to kind of get back into that rhythm that he had in December?
I just think he's a competitor. I mean, when you don't play well, you want to figure out what you got to do to play well. And he didn't, he felt like he didn't have a good game against Carolina. Nobody did. We didn't shoot the ball well. And I just think it bothered him, what you want in your players, guys who can respond after not having a good game. And I thought he was tremendous against Louisville, where he just, he couldn't miss. He was aggressive. He drove the ball, got to the free throw line. He made shots, and those are the guys you want in the program. Just not to stay. Players are allowed to have bad games, but you can't have. You don't want to stack bad games. You want to try to get to the point where you're going to have some, stack good games. And I think in DJ, he just shows you just what type of competitor he is.
Connor O'Neill, go ahead, sir.
Kevin, what kind of change have you seen in Wake with Efton Reed? I don't know if you go back as far to scout them when he wasn't playing the first 7 games, but if you just compare it to last year when you saw Wake and compare his impact now that he's playing and eligible.
Well, I think it gives him a skill post. He hasn't made a lot of threes on the year, but his ability to step out and they run a lot of top action where he can handle the ball up top, and I think that's something that they really haven't had in the past from the center position. He's big. I mean, he changes shots down low. He's able to finish. That's that's one of the great things about him is that he's a great rim run guy. He's a great target to throw the ball up to, but you can also throw the ball inside to him and he'd be able to score. And so I just think it gives him more of an inside out presence than they've had in the past.
Rob McLam, go ahead, sir.
Yes, sir. Kevin, I have a two-parter. One, just your impressions on Forbes and what he's doing, what he's built over there in Winston-Salem. And then second, sir, if you don't mind just speaking to Dr. King. Today is national holiday.
Oh yeah, I mean Steve is he's done a really good job, and it just shows you, how tough our league is. Steve's had in the last couple of years, he's had some really good teams, and unfortunately, because of the way things are set up, he hasn't. Those guys, a couple of those teams were tournament teams, if you ask me, and hadn't been able to get into the tournament with the teams that he's had. But he's been able to stack teams, year in year out. And really, look at him. He's taken a couple guys that were, averaging basically 4 points a game at another school, and then obviously, basically let them loose, and then they're playing really well. And his guards are good. They play hard. They got a lot of freedom. So he's done a good job. And when you talk about Dr. King, I mean, you think about this. I'm sitting here as an African American coach in the ACC. His impact and what he's done, I wouldn't be here. I mean, I really wouldn't. And not when I just speak about myself, it's so much hatred in the world today, and we're talking about a man who preached that, whether you're black or white, and preached to love people and to understand the value of getting along and understanding that everybody's equal and everybody's got feelings and everybody can be great together. And so I don't take it for granted. It's an exciting day for me. And but Dr. King was such a great inspiration for not just African American coaches and folks, but everybody in this world. So just means a lot.
Thank you, sir. Happy holiday.
Happy holiday.
We'll squeeze one more quick one in from JC Zemble. Go ahead, JC.
Kind of piggybacking off of what Connor asked with Efton Reed, but it was a different twist. 2 years ago, your rules of engagement seemed to be that you couldn't take a two-time transfer because, that was the rule, but then everybody got waivers. This past offseason, I think coaches shied away from two-time transfers and no one got waivers until the court stepped in. When you look at upcoming in the future, is it just nice to know what the rules of engagement will finally be? Because I'm sure you made personnel decisions the last two off seasons based on whether they could be eligible or not.
Well, based on the way JC things are going, I say you take everybody because this thing is. I mean, these kids are going to be eligible. I mean, I don't know why we shouldn't even sit on here and act like it ain't going to happen. NIL is here to stay. And I don't think there's going to be any restrictions on anyone other than some academic stuff. If, basically if those guys, won't meet academics to be able to get into your school or maybe not eligible leaving the other school, but it is here to stay. I just think you go out and you go get the best guys to fit you and then figure it out because you're right. Everybody said, hey, don't take two-time transfers, and they're making such an immediate impact on every program in this country. And I think you got to recruit that way now.